Thoughts on the exalted weapons being moddable soon? It's going to be really nice. I hope. Alright, let's take these guys. What are they at? 100 right now? Alright, sure. We'll pause their AI and let's just see what we can get going here. In terms of, like, damage output quickly. And these guys are... these dudes over here on the right are my mixed group. Of, like, low and high level dudes. Put those on you. 13 infected. Alright. Why does that crit for 3,000 sometimes? Did they make this able to crit now? That doesn't seem right. Okay, so it doesn't spread on death anymore, but whenever this ends, let's see how fast it drops. Decaying. Okay. So as long as there's enemies available, it's, like, pretty easy to, like, stop the drop, I guess, as it were. Alright. This is workable. This is workable. I think maybe I can work with this. The decay is not as fast as I thought it was going to be. That's actually not so bad. Yeah, that's not so bad at all. Okay, so... Alright, now I understand what this decay is. It's a percentage of your current total, not a percentage of what you've reached. Okay. I was under the impression that if you were at 1,000, it was going to drop by 20% per second, as in, like, drop 200, drop another 200, drop another 200, drop another 200, but it's, like, reverse exponential, where it drops 200 and then 20% of that, and then 20% of the new number, and then 20% of the new number. Okay. That's, like, totally fine. That's actually way better than I thought that was going to be. Now that that math is known to me. It's kind of dumb they took out this spread on Spore Death. They should have toned down the range of it, sure. I think it would be fine if it was like a fourth of the range. Like, if your spread on Spore Death was 1/4 of your actual range, I think that'd be fine. Really good for Saryn for everything but ESO. This is a pretty big ESO nerf, which is fine by me. She was a bit broken there. Is it, though? Because, so there's an interesting thing you can do with this. In that, allies kills now spread spores, which means Equinox spreads spores. I'm just saying. There's potential for that. Now that I know that that decay isn't, like, the worst thing of all time, then that actually solves, like, the main issue I was gonna have with this. And, like, the ramp doesn't seem like it's, like, horribly slow. Kills spore buildup? I mean, yeah, but she also kills everything on the entire fucking map, right? Let's do, like, a casual solo of this and see what happens.
This is a stress test. Destroy all specimens as quickly as possible. In this chaos, the true nature of these creatures will be revealed.
Oh, Corpus this time. Alright. I might have to start killing these enemies with a gun, honestly. Just so I can get, like, the spores to be, like, constantly spreading. Around. There we go. Yeah, okay. So you can, like... Alright, so if you get, like, the room wipe, then it's easier to, like, score a man, and then these guys are all gonna evaporate now. So because your decay isn't, like, terrible, you can, like, more quickly move the infection. So it's kind of just, like, different. Like, all these guys are infected, and I can just let them die. So I should only be worried about spreading the infection, and not worried anymore about, like, anything else, basically. Like, spreading is all that matters, because it will kill them. And I can, like, restart the infection from different areas now. So, like, I just kind of have to leave it on enemies, and they'll die. Like, these guys don't have it, so I need to throw it over here. Then give it to everyone, and then that'll start killing them. Like, I just have to be able to sustain the kill. Fuck. I would like it if they made her one a one-handed action. Because or an action that you can do... Well, you might be able to do it while shooting, but just not be able to do it while meleeing. Like, I killed that, and now these guys have it. Now these guys have it. And my 3 is still super powerful. And, like, that's gonna kill all of these dudes. Like that guy, for example.
A data conduit is open.
Yeah. Now that they're recastable, and I know that the decay isn't, like, the worst, and, like, you get to keep, like, a little bit, like, between zones, which is a little something. Alright, there's my healing that I needed in my life. Ow. Yeah, this is like an interesting way to spread this. Yeah, now, like, I have, like, this, like, 1,000 damage thing going, and I can just bring it back in here, like, really easily. This is actually maybe a little bit more playable. Like, in terms of, like, what you're managing. Like, you don't just lose everything all at once, but you're not going to get, like, as high of a number. Because now, like, my infection's only out there killing those dudes, but now it's back inside. There's, like, merit to that. Rift Dauntless, the server's went down, basically. There we go, those 10 dudes are now hit again. Alright. Yeah, but, like, now, see, I can, like, infect this whole zone because they made it so that my on-kill spread is actually larger. Like, whenever I Toxic Lash an enemy, I now have, like, an even better spread. So, like, that's a thing. Also, I'm just gonna heal real quick. Yeah, like, I give it to everyone in this hallway. Then everyone in this whole area has it now. What happened to Dauntless? The servers are dying because there's too many people that want to play it. So while they're fixing that, we're playing this. So better synergy. I don't know if it's better synergy, but it's, like, kind of different. It's definitely more movable.
Enter the conduit now.
It's unfortunate that, like, the ramp is capped now. I feel like the ramp cap should be higher than it is. It should be like 20 enemies instead of 10. This is a really good tile. I feel like this keeps its, like, board wipey nature in check a little bit. Does it count? You know what? For the duration of miasma, if any enemy dies during the duration of miasma, if it's still spread from their death, like, not from, like, necessarily the miasma tick itself, but if they died during miasma, it should still spread. That should be, like, a synergy added to miasma. Because that's still, like, playing actively, and miasma's stun isn't that long. Or, like, its effect isn't that long, so you'd have to, like, keep doing it. And it costs, like, a good amount of energy. If they did that, that'd be nice. That'd make it, like, much more, like, consistent. And, like, see these guys? Yeah, there we go. If you don't get the opportunity to melee them, it can go real rough for you. Yeah, you see how much damage it's getting to? My Spores just red crit for like 20k. Did anyone see that? Anyone see my Spores red crit right there? Because that seems like a weird one. So this is actually going to be really useful on the maps that are like too fucking big, because you can just throw your Spores at an area and then a teammate will likely like take care of a guy, and then your Spores are over there taking care of a problem. Also, these fucking energy leech XMI though, fuck them. And oh yeah, do you see how fast that fucking drain is whenever you go through a portal though? Holy shit. That could be toned the fuck down. Like, I kind of get it, but also, damn, dude, come on, man. I lost like fucking thousands of damage. And the build-up's not that fast. Holy shit. To be fair, corpus are weak as fuck, and I'm decaying now. Because it literally killed everyone it infected. Oh wait, these enemies just spawned. They don't have the spores. Did you change the build? Nope, this is the same exact build. I might have to change the build. Well, I guess I don't have to change it to more damage, because the damage is still fine. Do I have to change my build at all? Let's try this with the Supra. Where'd all the fucking enemies go? You're infected. Infect everyone else. Honestly, you might just want to spray some dudes at range. I wonder if, like, gun Saryn is actually better than melee Saryn now, because you can't spread by, like, spore, like, death. And you can cast at, like, such sufficient range to hit everybody. Yeah, and you can, like, shoot so much faster. Dual wield Saryn? You got me there. Nope, decaying. Yeah, you just kind of want to put a couple bullets into people so that the spores keep going. And when they don't, you start having a problem.
I have opened a new data conduit.
Toxic Lash works with guns. Yep. Depends on the density. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Okay, yeah. Literally, hey, the density is to a point where I want to melee these guys anyway. Yeah, you know the thing that was just said, the density? I think it actually depends on what faction you're fighting, now that I'm thinking about it. Because, like, Infested, they're gonna run at you anyway. And, oh, fuck. Need more enemies. Yeah, the fast decay hurts, but I mean, like, the fast decay is better than a complete reset, actually. Like, especially in, like, any normal mission. You'd rather have, the fast decay than, oh, it's gone. You know what I mean? Like, because now if a teammate board wipes you, you're not, like, completely fucked. So, like, you don't lose everything that you've built up. Like, in a survival, it's going to be much better. In a defense, as long as it doesn't drain during the timer, it's going to be much better. Although, well, defense might be a hard spot. They might have to add some... Oh, God, oh, God. They might have to add some, like, kind of specific thing so that, like, defense doesn't kind of suck for her. Like, be like, hey, once all enemies in a defense die, pause that shit. That'd be nice. Just to make it so that she's not, like, losing all of it. Because she is going to lose it, like, still pretty fast. It's like Nidus, but a bit different. Yeah, for sure. You definitely have to cast a lot more now. Like, before, you'd almost never have to cast spores, but now you definitely have to, like... You definitely have to be casting that shit. Where's everyone at? Man, that delayed spawn shit. I gotta stop. I need enemies now, more than ever.
A data conduit is open. Go now.
Solo spawns? Yeah, right? Fuck my life. Fuck you. And I don't have to spread it with my lash. Fuck my life. God damn it. Fucking the corpus drones. Alright, alright, alright. Cast this. Cast this. Fucking really died on contact with my fucking spores. There we go. Fucking 30-something people infected. Good lord. That was a fucking rough start to this tile. What is with all the fucking Oxium drones? Holy fucking shit. So many fucking drones, man. Go away. I have a super also. Stop this. Stop all this. All of these enemies, you're now infected. Fuck all of that shit. Man, last map, solo spawns, and, like, this map, fucking, holy shit. So many dudes now. What happened? What changed in the one tile set changeover? Is it just that there's so many corpus techs that are spawning on this map? Is that what's happening? The Axiom Osprey is the reason why they should keep Death by Spore. Yeah, that'd be nice. Is my super on, like, the wrong build? I think my super is on the wrong element. Because it should be on viral, and I think it's on corrosive. Should be on viral. It's definitely on corrosive. Fuck my life. Did they fucking, like, buff the amount of fucking bullshit Osprey that spawn for fucking Corpus? Good fucking lord.
I'd like to ask a few questions.
Like, I know Osprey damage is high, but they don't normally spawn like a fucking million of them. You know what? I wonder if this is just making it, like, because spores are nerfed and they don't just, like, spread on kill anymore. If this is just making it more obvious that, like, Saryn is not bulky at all whenever actual damage is involved. Don't fire that gun. Oh, you know what? I actually just realized what we're seeing here. We're hitting the point where her spores aren't scaling fast enough. Like, because, like, there are so many enemies, but they're capped on how fast they can scale up, it's no longer enough, because these enemies are of a level where it no longer is enough. So I might need more strength in this build, at the very least. Yeah, I might swap out maybe Augur Reach for... Augur Reach for, yeah, what is it called? Augur Secrets. Gee, yeah, holy fuck. This is really exemplifying how not tanky Saryn is. Because it's just not scaling fast enough to kill these enemies. Finally time to slot Blind Rage? No, that's too expensive. Especially for Onslaught. Yeah, the cap on, like, amount of enemies it could scale off of could really stand to be doubled. I mean, obviously, it's still, like, totally doable to, like, solo this. But, like, as squish as she is, I don't know if worth, considering, like, the power that she's lost. In the earlier rounds, it was not as obvious how much, like, she's lost, because, like, it scaled fast enough, but, like, now it's becoming obvious that it's not going as fast, and that is making a difference now, where the damage actually needs to be that high. Yeah, that seems like it would be the case, Meg. Yeah, I'm literally like my damage output is just not gonna be enough anymore. Like, these are Corpus, like these are just Corpus, and like my spores don't scale fast enough to clear this shit. Which means I'm also gonna lose like a lot of range whenever I have to change this build. Duration is still fine, though. And on the plus side, I guess that just means, like, my Toxic Lash will be even stronger. But spores are definitely, like, the thing that needs to be helped out now. Tactical Hide engage. Did they nerf her already? Yes. Alright, the number has, like, finally gotten high enough where maybe I can do some shit. Oh, excuse me. Dude, and you die so fucking fast. Like, if Saryn is gonna, like, stay like this, she's gonna need more fucking HP or something. Like, she's not tanky enough for this. Her 2's not good enough. Like, it was good enough while her damage ramp was, like, really, really good in big groups. But now it's definitely not enough. Like, it's just not as sustainable. Build is still range strength. This is, like, a mostly range balanced build. You need to cast your one so much more now. Just have a pocket train at all times. Well, I mean, it is Onslaught. Yeah, like, I mean, that's, like, totally doable to 8, but, like, it's, like, very clearly, like, that's some of the limit. Just how duration build on Drain when going between zones. Eh. Yeah, this is ESO. Like, this is Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. So, like, this is, like, arguably the hardest content in the game, I suppose. But, like, still. It works. It'll be better for, like, survivals and stuff. Lancer, thank you for resubbing. I appreciate it. I already taste the salt on Reddit posts. Yeah. But yeah, alright, let's look at this. Let me read these patch notes again.
Tenno, a new alert has begun. Will be marked on navigation.
So this is one of the things in this that's like really fucking unnecessary. Recasting on enemies will put new spores on a target with a 20% decrease to its damage per second, which scales with power strength for 50% of the energy cost. I don't know how I feel about that. Because does that just make the strain weaker over time? Like, considering it's already so much weaker, that seems not great. Remove spread on enemies that die to spores tick damage. I feel like that could have just been a fourth of the range and it would have been fine. Yeah. The max scale on 10 enemies feels like it could definitely be 20. Just because it doesn't scale up fast enough. It drains faster than it scales. Yeah. I think that's if you recast on an already infected enemy. Here, let me reread this. Spores can be recasting on enemies will put new spores on a target. It says new spores. That might just be worded really poorly. If that's just putting additional spores on an already spored target, that's probably fine. Damage per second you've accumulated will instantly drop by 20%, which will then commence the decay of the remaining damage by 10% per second affected by duration mods. Decaying can be observed in the damage per second meter. Yeah. Nullifying effects increase the decay by 30% per second. So you're not going to be able to mod for going through the ESO portals. Like, you can make it like 5% better maybe, but that's not worth it at fucking all. So duration is not going to be that important. It's mostly just going to be a matter of strength, because you need to get that ramp back. Okay. So I think obvious replacements then are Power Drift instead of Cunning Drift, for sure. Because ideally we'd want to, like, double the base, which would be 4 per enemy, 40 per second, which could probably scale to a point where that would be definitely enough. So, yeah, maybe just... Well, do I have Intensify in here? I do already. Okay, so that would be Augur Secrets then, instead of Augur Reach. Or maybe, well... Hmm. 16 meters becomes like 30-some meters like this. Because it'll spread at a 16-meter area base. And then this is a 190. It should say in here. Spread radius is like, yeah, it becomes like 30 meters. Steel fiber for tankiness. I don't think you can afford to do that. You'd rather them all just die. It's kind of more what you need. And like, I'm already using Vitality and Regenerative Molt for tankiness. you aren't using Chroma for Eidolon hunting, do you just build him to taste, or is there a non-Eidolon build that makes him shine in other content? Oh, no. You usually just use Rhino instead. Add Augur Secrets. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about if there's anything that's more valuable than that, though. Regenerative Molt doesn't do much for you since you're getting one shot. I'm not always getting one shot. The healing definitely will matter. Better than low quick. Yeah, no, you're not using prime flow, quick thinking, and ESO. That's a waste of time. Yeah, you definitely need like at least a good amount of strength. At least. Well, If I go negative continuity, that'll make my decay even worse. Or, sorry, negative duration. So I don't really want to go negative duration. Add rage. I'm not really having energy troubles. More survivability. Like, how much is Steel Fiber even giving me? It's giving me up to... I get 630 instead. That makes my regeneration slightly better. I think I need more strength, though, to, like, really keep up. Yeah, Blind Rage is too fucking much. You're definitely using Transient Fortitude. Yeah, definitely not, Atrum. Like, you can use Chroma outside of Eidolon fights, but he's not actually useful anywhere else. If only regenerative Molt scaled with power strength. Yeah, why it doesn't is a fucking mystery to me. Augur Secrets and Power Drift. Nah, I definitely want to keep these range mods in for sure. I could definitely see Augur Secrets, though, instead of Steel Fiber. Because this puts me at, like, just over 4 gain per enemy, 10 enemies, 40 a second. Let's try the ESO to 8 run solo with this and see how much of a difference it makes. Because this is, like, just kind of like a reorganization of strength and range, so it'll give us, like, an idea of how valuable each of those things are. Stealing didn't look as awful as I thought, but still rough. It gets rough is the problem, because you can't scale as hard now. Oh, Super Element. You right. Thank you. Well, I'm going to be mostly using the Kamakuras. I'm not going to switch the build around. Fuck it. Yeah, I can definitely, like, I can do the ESO solo to 8 Felta. We just did with my old build. We're trying another build. We already did a run with my old build. No, buying off the market? No, absolutely not buying off the market. Are you kidding me? Ruthum is a fucking super valuable thing to be doing. Growing Power. Growing Power was already good. I'm just not going to reform a Saryn for it. Oh yeah, bonus him a lot faster. I forgot about that bonus. That's a nice little thing. Like, whenever I hit 2, I, like, become very speedy. Yeah, that damage ramp is, like, noticeably faster. Like, very noticeably faster. Yeah, that's like way noticeably faster. Okay. is it actually, this might actually be a little too much. Like, it's gonna not be too much pretty soon. Like, because the enemies are gonna get tougher. But this is like, okay. I mean, it's good that it's wiping out the groups fast. It just means I use more energy because I have to recast it. Which is, like, kind of fine. Oh, fuck. You there, sir. For the glory of spores, of course. Oh, whoop. I did not mean to recast that, but that's okay. Oh, why do these enemies not have it? Oh, it's because my range is, like, slightly less. I don't know. There's certain tile sets where that might really bite me in the ass. Yeah, alright. Ooh, that portal to portal drain, that's like part of the reason. One infected still, though. Oops, everybody's got it. Yeah, the definite, like, the increase in... This will scale a lot better in certain scenarios, but not in ESO. But ESO is the only game mode in this entire game where it spawns enough enemies that this is not better. A dilemma, to be sure. That enemy died from spores. That enemy did not. Save more energy because less molt spam. Yeah. Stop. Stop. Oh, some of these guys just have toxins still on them. And it's, like, confusing me. I'm like, that must be spores on a guy, because I'm used to there just always being spores on a motherfucker. This is definitely, like, kind of a lot more of a pain in the ass to use, because you have to, like, aim spores onto guys, like, more constantly. Because they won't just, like, spread themselves on death. Which is kind of counterintuitive. The sad part for me is that the regen molt is no longer optional. Oh, yeah, no, definitely not. That's not, like, a choice anymore. You're definitely using regen molts, or you're not really, like, playing. Seems like it's basically soft capped at like 1k, 1.5k. Well, that number is going to go up as enemy levels increase. Is the main thing. But yeah, these build up. Thematically, this is much worse. Plagues are spread by death. Yep. Yeah, thematically, this is no question worse. Fucking, what is that shit? Fucking die. There we go. It definitely doesn't feel like you're as much as like a death overlord of like constant plague and strife, which was kind of the really cool bit that Saryn had going on previously. It's like kind of fine though, I guess. Yeah, it definitely works still. And I wonder if this will work better with a team or worse with a team. That's a good question to, like, be asked. It still has the same synergy with, like, certain enemies, so there's that at least. That synergy is just, like, not as important now. Like, you're no longer, like, cultivating a disease. You're just kind of putting it on dudes, and that's, like, kind of whatever. It doesn't feel as good. The feeling isn't there. I'm not having the emotions that I was having before. And some of these enemies just fucking die the moment spores touch their, like, the nape of their neck. So, you know. Oh yeah, I liked it way better the other way. That would be so good. He died from spores. It should really be like, if they die from spores, it should be like a fourth of the spread distance. Because like even at like a max range build, that's not like a ton, but if you fucking throw spores on one motherfucker in a hallway full of dudes, it'll still at least spread to the guy right in his fucking pants. How you doing? We were testing the new spore, yeah, the new Saryn changes overall. It's not just spore, I guess. Look at that number drop.
Go now.
Oh, it won't spread down here anymore because the duration isn't sufficient. Yeah, this is like... I don't know, it feels like a downgrade from the Black Plague destroyer of, like, entire civilizations to, like... It's a bad flu this year. You know what I mean? And I definitely know which way I prefer it. Drop off is super severe, but your build-up works really nice, though. Now it does, now that I added another 100% strength. From plague to cold? It's not a cold. It's still like a bad flu. So, like, you know. Bad flu can kill you. It's just not going to kill you and everyone else. Hey, hey, fucking solo ESO, if you could spawn some fucking enemies, that'd be great. Thanks. Thanks, bruh. Solo ESO, hey. What if we had more dudes than this? Or, like, these dudes were more aggressive and could actually fucking find me. And sometimes it, like, won't spread because your spores do too much damage, and that feels like trash. Like, me casting spores whenever they're strong on a guy, like, it should delay your spore damage for, like, 2 seconds whenever you, like, put it on a guy. So that you can actually spread that shit reliably with Toxic Lash. And, like, actually get, like, some fucking good AoE clear going. Does the melee have healing return? No. We love Death by Spores and negative on their end. All for the sake of removing passive play. I don't even think it was passive before. You couldn't even, like, get that far playing passively. Like, sure, you could let the spores kill dudes for, like, a little bit, but it was gonna peter out, except for on, like, really specific tile set cases. And in those really specific cases, like, hey, man, literally one random tile set in ESO, which is only one mode. Hey, game, spawn some enemies? Thanks, Jesus Christ. Literally ran out of people to infect. God damn it. No, 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 no. Do not dogpile me. Dogpiling Saryn is not... Don't do that. That's a bad one. Sit in a corner through 1 to 8 last 2 weeks, though, and just pew at enemies every now and again. I mean, you could, but that's not, like, the most efficient way to play it. Dang, there are no enemies. Oh, yeah, it makes it a real son of a bitch to spread sometimes. Yeah, like, I have, like, decent, like, damage scaling now, but, like, losing that range that I lost really sucks. It's still, like, good range. Like, it's still 30 meters whenever I hit someone with Toxic Lash. Like, enemies spread themselves out sometimes, like, really far. And, like, them not... Like, whenever they die by spores, it should be... Oh, man. There's, like... I don't know. You have a video on this all you're using? Yep. Hey, but why would you use up on this exact thing? Hey, look, finally enemies. They probably feel most of mine, if not for what it was before. I don't know if that's true. Woo, okay. Hey, nullifier bubbles are back to not being bullshit. Good. So glad. They were really bad whenever they made those initial melee changes. I'm glad that that was apparently like a pretty easy fix, because holy shit. Yeah, oh, thank God. I'm so glad it just works. Are we sure regenerative molt doesn't scale off of strength? God damn it. Was that too close? Yeah. I really want to stay on the middle floor. The middle floor is like definitely where I should be. Seems like they made it easier to hit mines on the ground. Because that was actually kind of a problem with this weapon, is that it didn't deal with mines very well. Or not like these orange mines, but like the other kind. Alright, that's spread downstairs. Let us let that take care of that. You notice the enemies no longer objects change? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely noticeable. It wasn't actually as much of a problem for the Kamakuras, though, so it's not as noticeable just because of the way the Kamakura swings. It swings from the side. So it wasn't, like, actually as much of a problem, except for in the nullifiers department. God damn it. Spores killed him. Yeah, with this amount of scaling, it's definitely making it a lot easier to, like, actually get shit done. Because before, on the last run we did, this is the zone we were, like, starting to fall off at, and I don't think that's going to happen this time. Like, this is the zone where, like, fall off became noticeable in terms of, like, the effectiveness of the spores. And we're, like, very clearly, like, the amount of scaling that is represented by this new build is making a big difference. So it's also more expensive, though. You definitely need to be better about, like, just leaving some fucking enemies to die, though. Like, once they have spores on them, just be like, you dead, man. And then, like, just ignore them. These enemies here, they're all gonna die. They can't survive that for long. And if they start surviving it for long, then we can just, like, walk over and solve that problem later when there's even more enemies spawned. Yeah. So strength is determining at what point you start to fall off in ESO. For sure. Oh god, I'm decaying. There we go. There we go. Decay no longer happening. Honestly, it's tempting to always just keep those ancient healers around. See, he just died from spores instantly. Real unfortunate that that happens. Like, there's certain enemies where you stop being able to cast your one on them because they'll just evaporate, and that's useless to you. There should definitely be some, like, initial delay on a spore cast. Like, you put it on them and it doesn't immediately do its tick damage like that. You can see that that level 85 enemy could barely survive one tick of these 18k spores. Or not 18k, 1800 spores. So it definitely needs some kind of delay so you can get, like, an infection off of any enemy, as opposed to only enemies that are weak enough to survive your spores initially. Because otherwise that prevents some, like, scaling that she's definitely going to need in higher levels. Just tested ESO with Equinox and Saryn. It's broken as fuck. Yeah, I thought they might work together real well now. Hey, where's all the enemies at? Hey, there they are. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, and, like, this room also, it was so noticeable that I was starting to, like, fall off at, like, that 125% strength that I was at. And now, like, I can actually keep to pump these rookie numbers up. Yeah. See, like, the more survivability wasn't the problem. Before, I was dying, and now I'm not dying because the enemies are dying. So the best offense is becoming a good defense again. Also a hearty chunk of focus. It's a good tile. Yeah, I don't, how do I put this? These changes are not as much of a nerf as I thought they were going to be. I thought they were just going to kill it. Like, they were just going to be like, fuck this playstyle. Now this playstyle is just more restrictive. Which is unfortunate, because I think it's not as fun. But I think some people will really enjoy it, so. That guy died from that. Got any other infected just hanging out? Yep, there we go. There we go. I actually got a spread going. Not on these guys, though. Yeah, you can definitely... You're barely catching the edges of my spread range, so I think this is, like, pretty reasonable. The ramp definitely doesn't look as crushing as I thought, although it is still a little rough. Well, it's because I just added 100% strength to this build. Like, you can't ignore strength at all, for sure. Like, I know some people were building for, like negative strength before, which I think was a mistake then, but it's definitely not gonna fucking work now. Alright. Yeah, this build definitely better.
Go now.
definitely a better build. It's going to be bad in squads. It's going to be better in squads, actually, because ally kills also spread. So if you can't get to an enemy that would die from spores, your allies will spread the spores for you. So it's actually more cooperative at the very least.
Hunter, the sanctuary will go on without you.
Think Contagion Cloud is now needed? No, you can't fit it. He posts the Saryn build on Discord. I'll probably make a video for it. I can just show it. Yeah, this is what I swapped up to. Not that different, grand scheme of things, but it makes a big difference. Like the stat shift is very significant because you're losing a lot of range and you're gaining a lot of strength. Like it's literally a one mod swap that makes so much fucking difference. Because that's how powerful overextended is. That's the difference overextended can make. I will say, though, Augur Secrets is a real motherfucker to get, and so is Augur Reach. Like, these are real sons of bitches to get. Are there... you know what? I guess you could substitute. It wouldn't be as good. But you could just put Power Drift here instead. It's not that much different. And you know, actually, some people are going to want this chance to resist being knocked down. Because that is a weakness for Saryn, is being knocked down. And it's 30%, which is not awful. Just kind of depends on if you want that 9% strength or not. I want that 9% strength. Dev Workshop Saryn's still good. Still good, different, requires a different build. Still good in ESO. We did 2 Zone 8 solos. One with my old build, which did not go great, and then one with this build, which went 1,000,000% better. Because this build is better for ESO. Yeah, I think this will be generally better. You could use Growing Power instead of Energy Siphon, then you could replace Augur Secrets for Contagion. I would not do that. If this was Growing Power, it would just be Growing Power. I would just have Growing Power here. And I wouldn't change anything else. Using Saryn to focus farm ESO, so Steel Fiber plus Handspring are good trade-offs for very rarely getting killed. I don't know about Handspring. Like, avoiding knockdowns is pretty simple. Well, it depends if you're going melee Saryn or not. If you're melee Saryn, you can just block some stuff when it comes your way a lot of the time, or jump over it. Would Blind Rage also work instead of Transient Fortitude? Absolutely not. Not in ESO. In ESO, absolutely fucking not. That much negative efficiency? Fuck that shit. Look, there's... no, fuck that. I was gonna say there's... There's an amount of merit to this. But I'm going to say that amount is pretty low. There is some amount of merit to this. Some. Not a lot. Also, if you're having, like, some efficiency issues, this is, like, also totally realistic. Exactly, Harm. Exact. Like, at 100% efficiency, I feel like this is just fine. Yeah, if you have a dedicated Trinity that's gonna fucking pump you full of energy, then you can run 2 fucking Blind Rages for all I care. You have unlimited energy, so, like, whatever. If you're running with a Trinity, obviously, efficiency, fuck off, right? I could see Blind Rage being viable prior, because you could more easily maintain a spread, but now that you need more recast for 1, I'd say not as much. Yeah, definitely. Unless, I mean, if you don't mind being shot, and you are going to get shot a little bit, this plus... this is really expensive. Like, how much do your abilities cost like this? 40 energy? It's a hard sell. So the huge problem with this is you can't. So with my current build, part of the thing that's so good about it is you can Toxic Lash and you can Spores right at the beginning of every single ESO
Boundary
wave.
items ready to claim, operator.
Like every ESO wave, you can hit both of those abilities. Your bread and butter, you can bread and butter at the very beginning of each wave. I mean, honestly, this also has merit. This has more merit, I would say. Energize and Xeneric might justify 75%. No, definitely not. Not in ESO. There might be a point where I try this with Hunter Adrenaline just to see how it goes. Like, maybe try a run with the 185% strength. See if that's, like, close enough. I definitely, there's no chance in hell I go below this amount of range, though. There is no way I'm going under 30 meters of spread. Fuck that. Like, there's no, like, narrow-minded, fuck that shit, you're never using it. You need range. You have to have range. Like, losing overextended hurts, but is required. Why Guardian, not Grace, just preference? I can already regen, and this prevents, like, a lot of incoming damage, so it doesn't matter as much. Like, Grace is definitely good, and, like, you can do it. Where's my Grace at? Where's my Grace at? There's Avenger. You know what? I wonder if you can give your Spores crit chance. That probably doesn't work. You probably can't give your Spores a 30% chance to crit. That's probably not a thing. I'm going to think about that later, though. Here's my Grace. Yeah. Like, you already have the regen from Molt, and that's a consistent regen, so I don't think Grace is as good. Hero Saryn memes. That would be fucking Hero Saryn memes. Oh, man. Oh, baby. How many abilities you can crit? Usually just exalted stuff. Yeah, this is worth trying, though. Like, this last slot, I'm going to say, is, like, definitely a little malleable. Like, I'm going to go with this, I think. But, like, Hunter Adrenaline, absolutely, like, a thing you could do. Streamline, totally viable, for sure. And, like, in most cases, you're never going to need this much strength. Like, the 185 is going to be okay. What do you think about Rebecca tweeting that picture of being able to mod your Exalted weapon? Seems fucking rad. Seems like I'll be able to actually bring, like, another melee weapon with, like, my melee warframes, or maybe level a secondary while playing Mesa, stuff like that. Test out whether having no enemies infected when you go to the next zone actually slows down your damage drain. It doesn't. It increases it by 30% based. Like, it's your normal drain while decaying, and then plus 30%, or 30% more than 0% if you have enemies infected. Just ran ESO with 2 Saryns in the group. It actually didn't suck. I mean, I'm sure it sucked for the Saryns. Reason for pros to use Test Cal outside of Simulacrum? Why would I ever have a reason to do that? If I don't have regenerative molt, what can I replace it with? You can replace it with farming regenerative molt. I mean, okay, so if you don't have regenerative molt, you have to do something else. Like, you have to, like, take this weapon. Also, this weapon should have CO in a realistic capacity. Because I'm Saryn, and I can guarantee minimum 2 procs on all enemies. This should actually, instead of, like, organ shatter even, I should do condition overload. Worth noting. It's not that important. The damage is not, like, needed. So, whatever. But instead of organ shatter, you're going to lose some melee damage. But because statuses are always applied to everything, you could invest in healing return, which is not worth doing. However, you could also just do Life Strike. An unranked Life Strike in here. Like, if you channel for 1 second, hit an enemy, heal to full. Great. It's worth noting that because channeling is getting removed, healing return might actually be valuable, so make sure you at least have one around. Oh, you know what? Yeah, if you brought your secondary as the Furus, that'd be good. I know that's fucking dumb, but like that augment can heal you and also spread spores with your 3. What's Saryn's tier after her changes? She probably stays an A. I do feel like she needs like some things here and there, but she's not that much different. It's mostly the feel of playing her feels worse now. How is Nidus right now? Nidus is very good. There's just no content for him. Nidus' main problem right now is that his kit is designed really well, and he's got a really good toolbox that can be used on long-term missions, and there's nowhere to apply that. There is literally nowhere to apply Nidus' toolset in a really useful way outside of a farming build on Vodyanoi, which is used in conjunction with other warframes, and is also like just a thing that's nice to have, not required. So basically, this melee weapon is 100 times better than your Slashatine Prime build. It is usually better due to the range of this weapon. Like, this is usually going to be better than the Galatine Prime. Purely, it's for the exact same reason the Atarax is better than the Galatine Prime. Because the Atarax and this both have really good range. Really good range on melee weapons is so fucking important. I cannot stress this enough. At the point where your weapon is strong enough to kill an enemy, your only new, like, qualifier is how many enemies can I hit at once. Like, that's the thing that needs to be, like, evaluated. That's why the Atarax is better than the Slashatine, or the Galatine. Because the Galatine can output more damage, but you have nowhere to put it. Like, the area that you're putting that damage in is smaller, and whenever you actually, like, evaluate based on the area of what you're attacking, certain things will do better, because this is a horde game. I'm, like, only semi-worried about Saryn. Like, of course, Smuckus Nerfs, but at the same time, I trust Pablo. They're out. I'm playing them. We just did this. Like, we've already evaluated. Like, this is the new build. Like, we done did this. Yeah, the damage was definitely worth it. You just absolutely have to have some strength. Like, for any, like, Star Chart content, 100% strength is going to be just fine. Well, no, that's kind of true.
New alert
I still
marked
think
on
that Saryn's
navigation
build
center.
is going to sway more towards her 4 for Star Chart missions, just because enemies are such weak, shitty babies. And you're not really going to bother with using spores. But for ESO, like, absolutely, spores are worth it for sure. They're nerfing the melee range mod, buffing the base range of the weapons. Yeah, they better fucking address Rivens when they do that. And if they don't, who am I kidding? This community is so fucking addicted to gambling. It won't matter. What are some solid DPS warframes or better yet, fun warframes to play? Well, my favorite is Mesa. Mesa's fucking amazing. Besides that, like, Inaros is super fun, especially if you like tanking. He's an invincible god beast. Rhino, always great, especially if you do his, like, his advanced build, which I have a video on, Ironclad Rhino.